Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I would like to thank you all who have made it today to the Y4S Sustainability Forum, and I'm honored to be amongst you, even if remotely, in this event that has become a permanent fixture and an unmissable occasion on many of our calendars. Holding the Y4S Sustainability Forum today is especially important when we take into consideration the growing challenges that are facing sustainability efforts around the world. And when we factor in climate change, which has now snowballed into a global issue that we simply can no longer ignore or postpone. An issue with dire consequences on every aspect of everyone's life and with ramifications across each and every sector. Our planet is still warming. 2021 was another one of the hottest years on record. In fact, the 7 hottest years on record have been the past 7. We can see this with our own eyes when, for example, the higher temperatures around the Arctic caused it to rain for the first time at the Greenland ice sheets frigid summit, or when we witnessed the unprecedented wildfires. In the United States alone, a total of 58,733 wildfires were reported across the country by the end of December 2021, having burnt more than 7.1 million acres. It is crucial that we take collective action, and to do so, a plan centered around 3 main pillars has to be adopted. These pillars are sustainability, youth, and entrepreneurship. These 3 elements combined are the engine driving our efforts to combat global warming and are key agents of change. Let's begin with sustainability, a concept that is at the heart of every development. Today, 70% of consumers say they would pay a premium of about 35% on products and brands that embrace responsible practices. Younger generations, in particular, believe sustainability is core across sectors. Then we also note that 40% of millennials believe the goal of businesses is to improve society. Governments are also taking note of the threat of climate change and the need to take action. The UAE, for example, has launched the UAE Net Zero by 2050 strategic initiative, a national campaign to invest 600 billion dirhams in clean and renewable energy sources over the next 3 decades and achieve net zero emissions by 2050, taking it in the lead in the Middle East and North African region in this field. Furthermore, Saudi Arabia recently pledged to cut its carbon emissions to net zero by 2060, firmly positioning the region at the forefront of efforts to tackle the climate change and ensure a better future on this planet. Moving on to the second pillar, youth. All of you here today, you are generations of the future and the generation with the biggest stake in driving sustainability efforts. We invite you to bring unconventional thinking and out-of-the-box ideas to the table and to question the norm and express your thoughts and ideas. In the UAE, we have launched numerous initiatives to empower young Emiratis and enable them to play that role. The Emirates has established the post of Minister of State for Youth Affairs to focus on upskilling and empowering young Emiratis and engage them in the decision-making process. To that end, the UAE government appointed one of the youngest ministers in the world to that post at the age of 22 and established the Emirates Youth Council to represent young citizens within the government. The Y4S Sustainability Program, which has brought us all here today, is another notable example. The Masdar initiative was designed to channel investment towards and actively support the development of young people in a bid to empower you all to become the sustainable leaders of tomorrow. As His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and Deputy Supreme Commander of the UAE Armed Forces put it, the youth serve as a safety valve and a source of hope and the strength for the community. Finally, entrepreneurship, which is at the core of any thriving economy and is a platform that brings these bold ideas to fruition, lay out plans to turn them into the on-the-ground realities. Today, entrepreneurship is the engine that develops bold ideas into success stories. Apple, Google, Facebook, Uber, and Tesla, amongst others, are all the outcome of the entrepreneurship engine. And in sustainability, this is no different. In fact, investors have taken note, and 75% of investment firms' executives now believe sustainability performance should be considered when making investment decisions. This is important to note, particularly given that global sustainability investments have surpassed $30 trillion. Ladies and gentlemen, it is important for us to keep the three pillars in mind as we develop new ideas and discuss the way forward: sustainability, youth, and entrepreneurship. The UAE has recently launched the Entrepreneurial Nation initiative, developed to create an ecosystem where unicorns, startups that are valued at more than $1 billion, can be created. And we are targeting 20 unicorns to be launched out of the UAE by 2031. The initiative includes 3 programs: SkillUp, Startup, and ScaleUp. The first of which in particular is a perfect example of how our strategy targets the youth and entrepreneurship at the same time. The SkillUp program allows participants and aspiring entrepreneurs from all nationalities across all sectors to develop their entrepreneurial skills. It caters to everyone, from students and research graduates to employees, retirees, homemakers, and job seekers. This is an important part of the UAE strategy to empower the next generation of entrepreneurs, further cementing the country's status as a hub for entrepreneurship and a launchpad for the bold ideas of the future. And empowering the next generation of entrepreneurs is the mission, ladies and gentlemen. It's the responsibility of each and every one of us. We must all work together as governments, private companies, communities, and individuals alike to set an ambitious vision for empowering the younger generations to achieve their sustainability goals. Protecting our planet itself is the end goal. It is what all of these ideas are to be for. Whatever we build or create will only be of real value if it can be sustained for generations down the line. And with that in mind, it is important that we work to empower the youth to spearhead efforts to build a robust green economy. We are confident that the discussions that will be here today will bring the youth bold and promising ideas to light, and on the other hand, will allow us to impart knowledge onto the young participants and empower them to play their part in sustainable development plans around the world. Thank you all, and I wish you a pleasant forum.